views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today, my special guest will be Dr. Rudy Kachmann, and he is renowned medical expert, an author, lecturer, national and international keynote speaker. He was a neurosurgeon, and he is a TV host and medical director of the Kachmann Mind Body Institute. And he's also owns the building of what's that? PBS.
PBS. I was a contributor to it. I gave him quite a bit of money.
Your name is on there.
Yeah. But I'm not the owner of it. I'm just a big-time supporter of it.
And to my left is John Dickmeyer. Hello, sir.
Hi, Patty.
And this is Rudy Kachmann.
Thank you for inviting me, Patty. I'm honored.
So you're all those things.
Well, yeah, I've been around a while, I guess.
Oh,
Just
my
celebrated my 41st anniversary of my 39th birthday.
Oh my goodness.
2 weeks ago in my old hometown, New York City.
Oh, congratulations.
Went back to see the
Happy
relatives
birthday.
and took a walk in Central Park. And
You recognize the
I
old
saw
place?
Hamilton.
You
the
saw
play.
Hamilton. Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God. Yeah, it was wonderful.
So where you were born in and raised in,
New York City.
and where were you?
And when I was 2 years old, just before the Second World War, if anybody can think that far back, my parents' deli wasn't doing good because, it was the end of the Depression. And we moved back to Germany, and I had to spend the whole war there and came back in 1947.
Oh,
And my father stayed behind, was still a German, not American, joined the U.S. Army, which made him a citizen automatically.
yeah.
And he fought against Japan, and we spent the whole time there, bombers going over our head. It was an interesting time. I'm glad to be here, healthy, happy in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
How long have you been here in Fort Wayne?
I've been here since 1969.
Good, blimey.
Yeah, I had a good job offer here, and frankly, I've just loved it here.
I was 17 when you moved here. I'm originally from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful city that is, Toronto. Yorkville Drive, I love to go
aren't
there.
they beautiful? Finch.
Like to shop on Yorkville Drive.
Oh wow, did you?
I have.
Wow, it's
It's a
beautiful
wonderful
there.
place.
Just like Greenwich Village.
Just like Greenwich Village, you're right.
Yeah. I haven't been there for 21 years now.
Is that right? I've been about 10 years. I'd like to go back again. It's Canada is a beautiful country.
Oh, it is.
And aren't we privileged to be next door to it, so peaceful, no problems with each other, the
Well,
way people should live, isn't it?
and it's clean.
And it's clean. Yeah.
John.
Yes. Well, I'm from here. I'm from Fort Wayne, and I've been here since I was very, very little.
Mm-hmm.
Were you born here?
No, I actually was born in Kansas City, Missouri. Was adopted almost directly after birth.
No, wonderful.
And came here, and I've been here a whole lot of time. And those who know me, I was 36 years at the Allen County Public Library, and all of that time was in the main library.
Isn't that what a privilege that is? This is a a beautiful, wonderful place. I don't think maybe a lot of people know how wonderful this library is.
It's beautiful. It's one of the
It's
biggest
beautiful. The
I've been
county
in.
has put all kind of dollars into it, and the people participating in it. It's full of knowledge and friendships. And I know, in fact, on my own TV shows here, Mind Body Connection, over 5 years. And I find out today, Patty, you've been here 5 years too. Before
Well,
this day is out, I want to know who started first, you or me.
Well, I started 2010.
Yeah, I don't recall the date, and I didn't ever memorize the date, but I'm going to find out today.
Well, you know, my show started July 2010, and I've been having wonderful guests like you guys on my show.
Yeah.
And when did you first start to become interested in helping people with any problem of
Well,
sorts?
I think you're asking a very good question. I mean, I was a neurosurgeon trained. You know, I was even in the Vietnam War. 2 years I ran neurosurgery, Portsmouth Naval Hospital, Camp Lejeune Marine Base. I mean, I've been through it. And I was mainly a neurosurgeon, but when I was into it, you know, about 10 years or so, I read a book by Candace Pert called Molecules of Emotion, how your brain and how it thinks, you know, the science was evolving, affects the rest of your body.
Oh.
And then she describes the science, how your body sends messages back to the brain. What she did, and I started reading about that, this book, and I realized looking at the patients that many of them would come to me, I want an operation, you know, and then I'd take their history and I'd say to them, and let's say had an accident or something, had a broken bone, I'd say to them, what's going on in your life? And I began to discover that I was really like Norman Vincent Peale, really. Began to realize people were seeing me about their personal problems. It wasn't just, I get a neck pain. It was like Candace Pert said, how the neurotransmitters, the hormones, the neuropeptides made in your brain spoke to your body, and they were coming in, you know, with neck pain, low back pain, things like that, and they're showing me the technologies, the X-rays, the CTs and MRIs, and I want a back fusion. When I wanted the life story and realized they didn't need surgery, most of them, 70-80% didn't need surgery. They needed a massage, maybe a spirituality, maybe a religion, something to relax, and didn't need all this surgery people are doing to them even today. It's not changed. Medicine does not teach at the med school level the mind-body connection. You do, I do, and I realized 70-80% of the people needed a coach. So I started writing about it. Now I've written 22 books.
Oh.
And I, like you, have had 300 TV shows trying to tell the public that we have to consider what Candace Pert described was that our 70 trillion body cells have on them receptors. Each cell has receptors, some more than others. The GI tract, the heart have a lot more receptors. So our thought process through the neuropeptides, the hormones. Patty, we have 50 hormones in our body. I didn't know that till a few years ago. 50 hormones. How it speaks to our body, our thought process can have tremendous effect on how we feel. And so I started teaching it. I owned yoga studios, still do, teach exercise. And then I get very interested in nutrition. That many patients seeing me had beginnings of diabetes and were overweight, which increased cancer rates, and that was causing their back pain, and started teaching them how to get well. Some appreciated, some didn't appreciate it. I mean, because many people today want the quick fix. And but so, frankly, I've read so much, written 22 books now.
Yeah,
you can go to Kachmann, Amazon Books.
Yeah.
Just to look at the covers can give you a laugh. And about narcotic prescriptions, about fat, salt, sugar, and the mind-body connection. And I've gotten into it more and more and more. Now I fully realize and 100% confident I am on the right path. But unfortunately, what I've discovered about medicine, like 50% of cancer at least is preventable.
Yeah.
And like we're going to
you
have the
eat?
breast cancer thing started today, I think.
Stress. What?
And that with proper diet, nutrition, exercise, cutting way down on alcohol, stopping this, you can get rid of 50, 70% of cancer.
I have COPD.
And yeah, I want to ask you why. You can tell
I
us
don't
why.
smoke. I don't smoke.
Is that right?
My sisters
Ah.
used to.
Ah,
And we
Secondary
used to
smoke.
have, what do you call it?
Yeah,
Asbestos?
yeah, asbestosis.
Yeah. But basically it's stage, what is it?
Maybe stage, not advanced because
Type 2.
you
or
speak
whatever.
you speak quite good and don't seem to be short of breath. So it's reasonable still with
Yeah,
you.
well, I've had it for about 10 years.
Yeah. You know, I found out I do some teaching at the factory level too now
Yeah.
through the wellness program at Lutherans, and I have found out, which we all think, well, 21% of the people smoke, but after speaking to 3 factories now, many more than that actually, but 3 are delved into the subject of smoking,
Yeah.
and I don't blame the people, okay, because there are reasons for these things, okay. 70% or so of our factory workers are smoking.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
And you wonder why they come down with...
and something has to be done about that. There are reasons for that, whether it be stress being a big one, but we can't no longer ignore that. These are lovely people. They have families. They have children that taking 20 years at least of their life, and we can't allow that. And I think it needs to be a national message. Can't just be, okay, I don't accept that.
What do you think of the commercials of all these pills that they've been taking over the years? Now all of a sudden they're dangerous and the side effects. You're almost afraid to take a pill for anything.
Yeah, this I think is a very good question. They should not allow advertising on the
Really?
television. Medications that we're taking many times unnecessarily, it's the national statistics, 200,000 people die a year from the side effects of medication.
I landed in hospital because of one.
In the hospital, my biggest focus right now is type 2 diabetes, which is from too much insulin, which is related to overweight and stress, but can be eliminated. Well, most people don't know, and I don't know if you know this, Patty. I wish you, both of you, John, would answer this honestly. Are you aware, because this is my main focus right now, because I'm a wellness doctor, you know what I mean? Are you aware that a person could get rid of type 2 diabetes in 30 to 60 days, 90% of the time? Had you ever heard that?
I've heard of that.
I
You've
have.
heard, okay. You both have heard it. If I speak to most patients, they have never heard that. So to me, unless it's an emergency, a doctor shouldn't up front hand you with the medication, and your blood sugars are fine with the medication, and the patient assumes, and this
They can eat anything they want.
our previous conversation, John, I think I may be right here. The patient assumes I'm fine because the medication keeps my blood sugar normal. Well, what I'm going to say to you, John, and challenge you to get rid of the disease. Medication does not get rid of the disease. Okay?
This
If we
is
can
like a
teach you
Band-Aid.
maybe exercise a little bit, not a lot, and eat the right food, 70, 80% of the time you'll get rid of your type 2. You'll get rid of it in about 30 to 60 days. That should be the passion of your physician.
How about...
But that is not the passion of the med school students. And you said it. That's all I can say. And the New York Times was written up the other day. You know what they called it? The scam of insulin, where the 3 biggest, Santa Fe, Eli Lilly, another company, the New York Times article this big, so it's not just me saying it. That's the name of the article. Just Google insulin, New York Times. The article will come up, and he called it a scam, where they doubled the price in the last 2 years.
Oh, boy.
So it is about what you say.
Money.
And I think we need to stand up to it. So I'm writing another book. I've written 22 books now on Amazon Books, Kachmann. And my IT guy I work with put titles of books. He's going to hand me the pre-Amazon copy tomorrow. And I'm a little hesitant to even tell you the name of the book, but if you want me to, I will.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I would. Okay, I'm going to, because I'm going to call it the scam, the racket, the fraud of type 2 diabetes. We are not properly informing people that to catch them very early in the diagnosis by proper testing so they can get rid of the disease 90% of the time by catching it much earlier. So to get people's attention, I picked a brutal title. I'm even kind of, about it. But I've spoken to about 6 friends today, and they say, Rudy, to make people pay attention, you got to call it what it is. Because the amount of suffering that a diabetic goes through, from blindness to heart attacks to strokes to amputations to kidney disease, to kidney transplants, you name it, that can be all prevented 90% of the time. Excuse my passion, but you guys asked the question, and I took advantage of it.
My mother had renal failure. She died of that.
Your mother had renal failure, Patty, and died of that. Yeah. Yes. See, you see why my passion. I'm not. Mother said, Rudy, be a doctor. I'm trying to be a doctor here.
I don't want to go that way.
Yeah.
I have 2nd stage kidney disease, and I wanted to reverse it.
Let's make a promise that we'll work together. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
The thing is, most patients go to the doctor, and as you said, they want a fix.
Yeah.
So give me a pill, give me a shot, operate on me, and overnight I'm going to be well. Well, that I know for my own that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And traditional diets don't work because because you can get to a point where you rebound, and it's almost like being a criminal. It's they call that recidivism.
Yeah.
But what I found is the first thing I did is I have markedly reduced the amount of carbonated diet beverage.
I gotta get out of that.
That's a big one.
Number
That's
one,
a big one.
and number two, processed
Meats.
carbohydrates.
Yeah,
you're
right.
And then I'm able to keep with just minimal work to keep my blood sugar down in the 70 to 80 range overnight, and before I eat, I'm able to keep it down there by regulating the carbohydrates, the complex carbohydrates I eat. And that's the most important thing.
John, you hit the nail on the head. I couldn't have given this talk any better than that, because sugar is the booger. Sugar is the hooker. And for 40, 50 years, the American Heart Association, CDC, NIH, Ansel Keys, all these people told us fat was a cause of heart disease, strokes, and diabetes. It is true. They knew better, though. But they were
kind of fat?
Industry was giving them so much money that they would pay for American Heart Association to put labels on some of their sugary foods, and they got money for that. Eli Lilly is the founder of the American Diabetic Association. I don't know, you knew that or not? Yeah. The new pharmacy school in town was given $24 million by Eli Lilly. Yeah, I went over there to meet with them to try to tell them to change the testing for diabetes to catch it early. And they were very nice to me. But that's the first thing the director of the pharmacy school told me. Very nice man, and he didn't realize that meant a lot to me. If someone gives you money, you're going to feel a little bit beholden to the guy that gives it to you, no matter how honest you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you summarized it very well. Is that the fat theory of disease is going down the tubes. It's the processed foods, the amount of sugar. And I totally believe. Matter of fact, it's easy to get rid of type 2 diabetes. If you, for example, eat 70, 80% fruit and vegetables, 20, 30% organic meat, it'll go away. No diet. Eat all you want. Maybe a walk half hour a day, exercise a half hour a day, the blood sugars will return to normal quickly. Matter of fact, if you're on medication and you decide to eat this way, somebody watching this show,
I'm in metformin.
you will, the blood sugars will drop quickly.
Yes,
I mean, within days.
within
You
hours.
got to increase the checking of your sugars. I mean, within days. Franklin House and even the diabetic group of Lutherans agreed with me when I kind of walked in there, sort of trying to get the diabetic group to work with me, which they have. Dr. Carrot said he thinks he can get rid of type 2 diabetes in a week, because if you eat 100% this way, your sugars will dive. They will dive. And so that's why I'm a little bit upset. That's why I think it's a scam, a racket, a fraud, is that it is so easy to get rid of your type 2 diabetes if you
But
eat.
they don't want you to get rid of it, so they can sell the pills.
Yeah, they don't want you to get rid of it. They want you to take that metformin,
And go
which
to
is
the
a good
doctor.
drug at times for certain people. They absolutely need it. But don't accept normalizing your blood sugar as the final endpoint. Accept to push it to the limits to get rid of your disease. Even if you got it, a good 80, 90% can get rid of the diabetes. How much of your pancreas is still working? You get a C-peptide test. That will tell you if it's still working, because by the time they diagnose you, usually 5, 10, 15 years have gone by because of incorrect testing.
Right.
We pull a fasting blood sugar when we should have been pulling serum insulins, and we'd catch it 10, 15 years before. We said, wow, lose 5, 8% of your body weight and the disease is gone.
I was hypo before
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, it
diabetic.
depends when they check it, but thanks for giving me the opportunity to explain it a little bit. You know, can I speak a little bit more
Sure.
about wellness?
Go ahead. We got
All right,
about 7 minutes.
I put together the Cultural Wellness Circle, which you can get a copy going to my website, and I have 8 things on there. And what I'm saying is to be well. Number 1, you should participate in your health care. You know, unless you fell out of an airplane, just the pill to the ill, I think you should understand, maybe get some other opinions, do some reading, look at websites, so that you participate in your health care. You shouldn't just accept the prescription, see you later, we'll see you in a year.
Yes, hopefully you
yes.
do it right.
Participate. And then number 2, I have 8 things, okay?
Right.
I'll go through them quickly. Nutrition is the next one, very important. Remember, 70, 80% vegetables, fruit, 30% organic meat, if any, okay?
Right.
Physical fitness, and I don't mean running marathons, I mean walking a half hour, and if you can add a little mile weightlifting or dancing or walking the dog to it. I call that activity of living. If you can increase your activity of living, whether you stand up when the phone rings, we use the stairs instead of the elevator, whether you have a stand-up desk or a treadmill desk while you're at work. Try to do activity of living at work, that when you come home, you're already done with it. You know what I mean? That's all exercise you need. Spirituality. I believe in spirituality. If you can tie to whatever your God is, whatever your religion is, and bring that into your life, that'll help get you well. Because remember what I said about how you think affects your body.
Do you have a book on what to eat?
Yes. Yeah, you can go onto Amazon Books. I have it on there. The Secret of the Non-Diet is another diet, is eating different food. It's the name of it, Secret of the Non-Diet.
What's that?
Then consider this a way of life, okay? It's a way of life. It's spirituality, it's physical fitness, it's proper eating. You need some education, that's next on there. Then sort of integrating the mind-body, which we spoke about already. And lastly is to get at least yearly testing. And if you have a problem, at least every 3 months, till you are, you know, you always hear you are what you eat. No, as you are what you digest. Yes and no, but you actually are what your blood work shows. And that's what you need to act on. You got to know your blood work. The other two are true also. They'll lead to the blood work, but when you think about food, not all food is absorbed. You eat a lot of high fiber food like you do if you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, half will go out in the stool. So it isn't just, so it's not calories in, calories out.
Nothing stays.
Depends on the type of calories.
Yeah.
So those are my basic 8. Try to get a copy of it.
Oh, I need it. I need it.
And
Boy, do I need it.
and you'll get it well. Thanks, Patty, for letting me expound on that.
And you have a book there. Is that
Yeah.
from you too?
Yeah, this is about secrets of motivating yourself to wellness. It's on Amazon.
Motivating.
and,
Secrets of motivating
yeah.
yourself to wellness.
To wellness.
Oh my.
I also have a book on there, How to Live to Be 100. And
I should live so long.
and,
I'm only 64.
So, and be healthy while you're at it, you know, and have a good memory too.
Well, how about memory?
Yeah.
When you get older.
This is I'm glad you asked that question. If you eat reasonably well, if you exercise reasonably well, you can frankly, and stay active, whether it's Sudoku or play a game or play chess or read, participate in something, have a purpose in life. You guys have a purpose in life. I can see it sitting right here, okay? I have a purpose in life. I'm trying to get people well. And we are doing it. You can extend your memory 10 to 15 years and never go to a nursing home. And a lot of people are overdiagnosing Alzheimer's disease. Like in diabetes, sugar combines with protein, deposits in the brain, affects diabetics' memory.
Oh, that's what's happening to me.
And they call it Alzheimer's disease. It's not Alzheimer's disease. That's dementia from sugar. Can be avoided, can be avoided, can be avoided. That's the reason to get rid of type 2 diabetes is very important. Don't accept the pill. Push it to the limit. Some people need a pill, but push it to a limit and see what you need. For example, some people are taking 90 units of insulin when they could live on 20 if they ate right. Thank you for that great question.
Well, how about people who are mentally ill who have chemical imbalance? Do you deal with that?
Yeah, I do some. I think, you say take a Prozac, but some people will say a walk is as good as a Prozac. So in the beginning of things like that, Paul Wilson, head of the psychiatric center, Park Center, will tell you that half the people go to a doctor have mild, medium, or severe depression, but their symptoms don't say I'm depressed. They say my neck hurts or back hurts. Just what I was speaking about.
Out that way.
So to exercise more, to turn on the music, stress reduction, for example,
Keep
to develop
yourself
a purpose can correct those chemicals a lot of the time. But some people eat medication. Definitely, some people are so severely depressed, they have schizophrenia so bad, they need to be on medication. So, but one can always try wellness first, unless it's suicidal or something. And some people even need to be hospitalized, But most of these things can be avoided. Proper stress reduction, proper exercise, proper diet. A lot of it can be avoided.
A lot of it is catching whatever early.
I'd like to thank you, my friend
Patty, thank you for inviting
Rudy
me.
and John Dickmeyer for coming on to my show.
And
You're
nice
kind.
to meet you, John. First time we met.
And
but
we'll talk with you
I think I knew your
afterwards.
dad. And
Maybe.
Thank you for coming on to my show, and we'll see you next week.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my